Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Bhagavad Gita. So, we will be doing today Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, text number 28 to 30, and this will be on page 49 and 50 of the hardbound Bhagavad Gita as it is if you are following along. A little recap from our previous session. We did text number 24 of chapter 1. Arjuna is ordering Krishna to take his chariot in between the two armies. Krishna purposefully takes Arjuna's chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona, who are Arjuna's grandfather and teacher. Arjuna now sees both sides of the army and he's seeing his friends, fathers, grandfathers, relatives, friends, everybody is standing right in front of him, ready to fight. Arjuna is about to withdraw from the war and he does not want to fight. So he starts to speak. That's what we will be seeing today. We will see the translation for text number 28. We'll see overwhelmed with compassion. Arjuna is overwhelmed with compassion. We'll see translation for 29 and 30. And we'll see the material conception of life that Arjuna is put into. We'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master who, with the torchlight of knowledge, has opened my eyes which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My dear Lord, and the spiritual energy of the Lord, kindly engage me in your service. I am embarrassed. I am now embarrassed with this material service. Please engage me in your service. Text number 28, chapter 1. Arjuna speaking to Krishna. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. One thing to observe here is Arjuna is present within his body. He can feel the feelings in the body. He is saying his limbs are quivering and his mouth is drying up. Arjuna is able to sense the indications within his body that he is experiencing due to the external situation in which he is currently in. Arjuna becomes overwhelmed with compassion. What is his compassion about? His compassion was going to the soldiers on either sides of the army. Arjuna was thinking, if the fight happens, the soldiers on both the sides of the army will die. There will be a lot of bloodshed, and I, Arjuna, will be responsible for all this bloodshed. And he was feeling compassionate for the soldiers who would die in the battle. Arjuna is a soft hearted person. Why? Because he is a devotee of the Lord. Compassion is is in the heart of Arjuna, although Arjuna himself was treated very badly by the opposite party. Duryodhana tried to insult his wife. He fed poison to his brother Bhima, and drown him in an ocean. He tried to light fire in the house where all the five Pandavas were staying. Duryodhana did everything that he could to kill the five Pandavas. And that is the reason Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight. And Arjuna is still being soft hearted and he wants to forgive the opposite party. He doesn't see any reason in fighting the opposite party. I heard a very nice story someone said one time. He said the way Arjuna is behaving is Arjuna is saying, like if a policeman, if there is a fight happening on the road or somebody's eve teasing someone, and you go to a policeman and say, hey, wake up, help. And the policeman says, you know what, non-violence. I'm not going to fight. A duty of a Kshatriya, a duty of a policeman is to protect the citizens. And Krishna is asking Arjuna to protect the citizens from the wrongdoers, and Arjuna is saying compassion. Although, the way Arjuna is putting it is he says, kingdom is temporary. And what is the point in killing all these people and committing sin? So he's saying that if I kill all these people, I will be committing sin. And I should do good deeds. I should not kill people. Whether I get the kingdom or I don't get the kingdom is anyhow temporary. So those are the arguments on the basis of compassion Arjuna is trying to pose to Krishna. Moving on, text number 29 and 30. Text 29, Arjuna continues saying, he says, my whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. Commentators say Arjuna, referring to Krishna as killer of the Keshi demon, is very significant. Krishna killed a demon called Keshi, and now in Arjuna's mind are being evoked the demon of doubt. Arjuna is doubtful whether he should fight or he should not fight. And those kinds of doubts are like demons. And so Arjuna, by referring to Krishna as killer of the Keshi demon, is requesting Krishna that as you killed the demon Keshi, please kill the demon of these doubts that are arising in my mind. Material conception of life. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. Arjuna is thinking there will be bloodshed and so many people will lose their lives. The advantage or the picture that Arjuna is not able to see is Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight. And at any point in time, following the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is way above the mundane morality. Arjuna is thinking there will be so much bloodshed, people will lose their lives. The ultimate reality is people will lose their lives in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, on the battlefield, and that will grant them liberation, freedom from birth and death. Often we just see the externals, and our heart is pained, like Arjuna's heart is pained by the external situation and the circumstances. There is an internal meaning for every situation that is happening in our life and around. Like Krishna asking Arjuna to fight. People will be killed, yes, but all the people who will be killed on the battlefield will gain spiritual credit. Dying in front of Krishna, there cannot be any better death than that, because you go back home, back to Godhead. Arjuna is unable to stay on the battlefield on account of weakness of mind due to excessive attachment. Arjuna is thinking, even if I win this battle, I get the kingdom. With whom will I enjoy this kingdom? My cousins will die, and with whom am I enjoying this kingdom? Almost all the people of my family will be gone. Even after killing everybody, I get the kingdom. What use is such a kingdom? So, Arjuna is attached to his family. Krishna is pointing him to fight for the cause of dharma, for the cause of religion, for the cause of establishing a proper ruler who can rule the kingdom with theistic principles. That is Krishna's motive. And Arjuna is not able to do his action as per Krishna's guidance because he is attached to his conception of enjoyment and compassion. Compassion is good, but compassion only for the dress of a drowning man is no good. Prabhupada would often tell a story. He would say, if a man is drowning in the ocean, somebody goes, swims to him, and gets back his shirt. What good is that kind of compassion? The person drowned and you just got back the shirt. It's Is that of any value? So Prabhupada often said, compassion on the level of the body is not as important as compassion on the level of the soul. Compassion to the soul is like watering the root of the tree. If one waters the root of the tree nourishes. Just cleaning the just cleaning the tree will not give the tree any nourishment. Water needs to be put on the root of the tree. Similarly, we are not this body, we are soul. And real compassion is directed to the soul. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. So Arjuna is thinking about his own happiness. He was thinking, I will not be happy even if I gain victory over the foes. He's thinking about his own happiness, and Krishna is pointing him to water the root. Krishna is saying, I will be happy if you fight this war and kill these people, and when I am happy, then you become happy. So, our happiness is not independent of Krishna. Like the nourishment of the leaf is not independent of the nourishment of the root. If we put water on the root, the leaf automatically gets nourished. We also discussed this example of the finger. A finger cannot enjoy on its own. The finger has to take the food, put it in the mouth, it goes to the stomach digests, and the nourishment reaches the finger. Similarly, Arjuna cannot be happy just by trying to be happy. Arjuna has to satisfy Krishna by following Krishna's order, and when Krishna becomes happy, then Arjuna automatically becomes happy. Like when we put the food in the mouth, the finger becomes nourished. Finger cannot eat the food by itself. So Arjuna is thinking on the moral grounds of compassion and happiness, and Krishna is pointing Arjuna to a high road. He's saying, look at the spiritual merits, look at the religious life, look at the theistic conduct that needs to be followed, and once they are all in place, everybody will be happy. So, we are covering the reasons why Arjuna does not want to fight, and that's where the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna starts to speak, giving Arjuna reasons why he should fight or refuting all his arguments. That's the Bhagavad Gita. So, this section is Arjuna's concerns or Arjuna's reasons that he poses in front of Krishna, saying, Krishna, I don't want to fight. Compassion, enjoyment. So he's thinking about compassion, there will be bloodshed. He's thinking about, I cannot be happy after all this bloodshed. We saw these two reasons, and coming up is destruction of family, fear of sinful reactions, indecision. We'll do a quick recap. We saw text number 28. Arjuna starts to describe how he is feeling in his body. His mouth is drying up and his limbs are quivering. Why? Because Arjuna is overwhelmed with compassion. He's thinking about loss of the life of so many people who are standing on both ends to fight. 29 and 30. Arjuna continues to speak. He is saying, my Gandiva is slipping from my hand. I am not able to stand here anymore. My skin is burning. And he addresses Krishna as the killer of Keshi demon. So all these doubts are arising in his mind, and he wants Krishna to kill those doubts so he can perform his duty of fighting in the war. The reasons that Arjuna is giving, compassion and enjoyment, are due to his material conception of life. He is thinking, I can be happy by practicing non-violence. I can be happy by not killing. And Krishna is saying, you have to stand up for the right cause, because this is good for all humanity. When there is a proper ruler, then the citizens benefit. And if the ruler is improper, then the citizen's life is a havoc. So Krishna is suggesting Arjuna that he should fight, and Arjuna is starting to give his reasons why he will not fight. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to send in, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. We will meet again in our next session. Thank you. Hare Krishna.